All right, people, yes. Big up on yourself, big up on yourself. Welcome to Entertainment Trail. Yeah, we're here with Felix Ruehling. Yeah, the man from Germany, people. Big music and promoter over there in Germany. Love reggae music. And I said, I'm here, so people, so, yeah, man, to big up to everyone watching us live right here on Instagram, also streaming us live on and not Facebook, YouTube, rather. Yeah, so we're just going to talk to Felix, get to understand his passion for music, reggae music to be exact, and I guess music in general. But we're gonna talk about reggae music, of course. Yes, so welcome to Entertainment Show, Felix, and welcome to Jamaica, Boss.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, my respect. All right, so you've been doing music for how long now?
Actually, since I have been a youth, but I started to do reggae music in a more professional way about 12 years ago. When I was like 16, I had my first band, more ska-oriented, but the first reggae tunes already in it. And then there came one band which was just with friends doing reggae. And when this band split, we started to do a backing band and become more professional doing reggae music in the way I'm doing it.
Okay, so you started when you was in school, you started after school?
When I was in school already, actually the first band was a school project.
School project, yes.
It was more like for, as I said, it was more ska music. In the time I was interested in modern ska style, ska punk and this kind of music. But I already, when I started to look at the history of ska, then I found out, okay, ska is part of the Jamaican music as well. Ska is actually before reggae music. And, so I started to get deeper and deeper into it and understand where the music comes from. And the more I understood, the more I liked reggae music. And nowadays it's much more reggae music.
So originally, while you were playing ska, you didn't know that it was actually a Jamaican genre at the initial stage?
I'm not 100% sure anymore. It's a long time ago. It's like 20 years nearly. But I started listening to ska music more from the. Actually, before I started listening to ska music, I was into punk music, and then I started to find out, oh, there's this ska punk stuff, and then step by step I came to reggae music. Many people who came to reggae music a little later came from hip hop to and over dancehall to reggae music, but for me the start for reggae music was like coming from punk and then getting more and more into the connection and to reggae.
Oh, okay. So to not to drift away, but what what do you say now? As regular music in Germany would be what? Punk music?
Punk music was a huge subculture at the time. Nowadays, of course, hip hop culture, trap music is huge. Rock music is still very big as well. So yeah.
Okay, but at the time we have all those other influences around those different genres. What make you choose reggae music?
Never really I choose this music. I'm very open for all kind of music, from all kind of popular music to classical music, contemporary art music. But maybe for me that I'm doing reggae music nowadays professional is more because things developed when I moved after 12th grade to another city, to Oldenburg, to make my final degree. There were people asking me if I want to be in a reggae band over there, so I get more into the music. And after that band split, I was thinking about, I started to understand this concept of backing band music. And thought, this is interesting. I already started to study music and musicology at the time. And yeah, in the end, it just worked out. So if it wouldn't have worked out, of course, I would do music, but maybe something completely different.
Oh, okay, I understand.
I'm very much into Latin music, for example. I would love to do some Latin stuff as well, although I'm not quite sure if I'm good enough. But it's always like, in the end, you have to get into it and get more into it. But I love the music, but then again, you need like 10 people at least to do a proper salsa band or whatever. So it's easier to do a 4-5 people backing band already.
And so, and this let us start a backing band now. And what's the name of the band that you're playing, and who are some of the persons you're backing band for? What are you in Europe?
For all kind of artists, from really local artists to very huge Jamaican names. We played for us like Luciano, Spraga Band, Bugle, Jamaican, Ranking Joe, Hugh Brown, like Asian artists who are still huge in Europe. And but also, of course, all the European names like Trickster, like Acoustics, Ganjaman, Landy and Raphael from Italy. We played a few shows with them. And also the smaller, really local artists oftentimes as the support show for the main act, but we play for them as well.
Okay. So you go across Europe or just in Germany?
We play mostly in Germany, Switzerland, but played also in France, Belgium, Netherlands, Lithuania, actually. Yeah.
That sounds very interesting. And for those who are just joining us, we're speaking to German music promoter, Felix Ruehling. It's a big up on yourself, people. There we enjoy ourselves. Yeah, you put information and get in here for you guys. I don't know, entertainment trail is where culture comes alive, you know. We don't want to focus on local acts to go all over the world to make people understand how the culture is doing out there, you understand? So, and so looking on the culture of reggae in Germany right now, reggae music, how would you say, and maybe Europe to be and by extension Europe, how would you say reggae music is doing out there in the field?
Right now, I mean, it changes over time because in most countries, or maybe in all countries except the UK, reggae music is just a niche. Maybe in France, I feel reggae music is kind of part of the pop music continuum. So all radio stations play at least all the venues have some reggae events every now and then. Because there's a lot of people from the Caribbean, from Africa living in France, so there's a huge community who is much deeper into reggae music than in other countries. And of course, in the UK, it's the same with all the Jamaicans living there. But apart from that, it's really a niche. So we have hypes for reggae music coming every few years. So in the early 2000s, we had the hype was Sean Paul, and then artists like Gentlemen, like Seek in Germany, for example, got really huge. And for a few years, you could go to a dance in Germany, and it was always packed with people. But nowadays, it really got to the really hardcore fans again. So it's not like
it's not like a big phenomenon no more. It's just like those who really love the music who just
yes. Although I see there is some kind of hype around reggae again, but not really affecting the reggae scene because you know about all the Ed Sheerans, Rihanna's, Justin Bieber's doing music that is very strongly related to reggae and dancehall music. But at least in Europe, I don't see a huge effect on the reggae scene. In Germany, for example, we have Raf Camora and the other guy. They're coming from the hip hop, but and doing trap and Afro trap and very strongly dancehall influenced music. but this only all the hip hop kids now listen to this music, but they don't go to a reggae dance. They don't look beyond that where it comes from. So right now it's not really huge. Although the only part that's really maybe even still growing is the festival side. The festivals in Germany doing very good because there all the people know who like to reggae, to listen to reggae every now and then. They like to go there because it's so relaxed. It's so the mood and just the vibe on the festival is so good. And if you're going to like a pop festival or whatever, so it's always a lot of drunk people, a lot of violence, whatever. So it's not that relaxed as is when you come to Reggae Jam, Summer Jam, or all the other big festivals around Europe.
Okay, all right. So currently, who do you say is the biggest name like for dance and reggae music in Europe or in Germany right now?
Who?
Who?
Yeah, but more like a hard question.
So there is no standout artist right now.
I don't know. You should have told me the question before. I would have there are some artists doing good, but in Germany, for example, I really see there's not too much artists coming up now. In the early 2000s, we had a lot of artists starting to do reggae music. And so when they got bigger, there was a lot of younger artists looked up to them and, I want to be like this. Then so they started as well. But now that there's not too many shows anymore, and a lot of the older artists stop doing it in total, but some only doing some shows every now and then, but not too active anymore. So there's no one to really look up to. In Germany, for example, the new guy for me is Toki.
Toki, I know Toki.
He's really still an uprising youth, but very, very talented. We have Trickster, she's already there for some years, but actually in Germany, when it comes to artists, I would say that's about it. But we have an interesting development, maybe a little like it is in Jamaica right now, with more bands coming on the scene.
Okay.
So maybe because for Europe, the roots revival is very, very important. I don't know about here, but in Europe, people really like it. And the roots revival with Swiss Protégé, Chronix, Lila Ike, all these.
Those artists that you just listed, they're doing well locally as well. So as it relates to Jamaicans now in Europe, who you say are the top names? What's a similar ones you just named?
Yeah, probably. At least these are the names who really can fill up huge venues, and not just one. For if it comes to dancehall artists, they will play just 1, 2, 3 shows or whatever, but will never fill up 1,000 venue or 5,000 venue. Maybe in the UK, UK is always a little special when it comes to the reggae market, and maybe they're even going to leave the European Union. We don't know. Right now, I don't know. I'm here in Jamaica for 10 days now. I didn't really follow up what's going on, but at least they are planning to leave the European Union, although no one really knows how they're going to do it.
And that is so messy,
Yeah.
It's just messy. I don't even want to really get into that.
No.
No.
But so the UK is always, when it comes to reggae, it's always a special market. And when we talk about Europe, we usually exclude the UK because the market is totally different, because so many Jamaicans living there, and it's much stronger related to the Jamaican market and the rest of Europe, who has a lot of strong local acts as well.
All right, so that's dealing with that side of the music, where you directly in touch with it. So also you do promotion as well. You do music promotion. Tell us about that aspect of the music that you're involved.
Actually, when I started with a backing band, of course we started to do some own productions, and then we needed an own label to get it out. And when you're dealing with an own label, you're dealing with the question of how you do promotion for your own stuff. And so I started to collect links and contacts to get my music out and get it listened to. Until some people asked me if I could help them with their music as well, because I already had a database with a lot of contacts. I told them, yes, okay, I can do that, I can help you. And that's when it started to get more and more professional, because if you're not just doing it for your own records that come out once a year or so, always start from scratch. And when you're doing it like every few weeks in the beginning, then you start to really strengthen the links, because they not just see your name once a year, but they see it every few weeks. And you know, nowadays it's twice a week or 3 times a week or whatever.
About 3 times a week. And I receive them as well.
So even more and more people coming onto it, because they see, okay, the service I'm doing is doing good. I'm trying to do it in a cost-effective way and not charge them like thousands and thousands of euro. But still, it's doing an effect for the artists. Of course, there are different ways you can do it. You can really do plugging and call all the people on the radio to really get it into rotation. That's not what I'm doing, because there are already very good people doing it in Europe. So I started to find a way, something in between. I'm trying to have the same quality of the packages I'm sending, of the emails I'm sending, and trying to do it really in a proper way, and not just sending a track with like unknown track and just saying, yeah, yo, play it on the radio. So I know a lot of DJs are really getting annoyed of these emails with the music, and especially in Europe, the radio stations don't understand that. They will never play a track just sent like that. So I try to find a way that suits to European stations, same way as it works with Jamaican stations or in Latin America or somewhere.
Because for me, I like when you send out your emails, I like how it's done, it's professionally done. It's really, you have access to like different version of the songs, or even like MP3, MP4, different wave files where you can get access to it. So it's not, you don't say it like in one format. Because it's what someone done, what's the WMA that person played. You can get WMA as well as MP3, so. And they give notes and those things, and I really like that about how you sing out your music. So it's good to know that it is working out well. And how many persons or how many artists you would say in promotion for currently?
Actually, I can't really give a number, because I don't really work especially on one artist. That's more the other kind of PR agents who really work to develop an artist in a special area. For me, I work from release to release, and I have some people just call me for, I have a new single, can you help me putting it out? And other artists I work with for years already, and every release that they have, I'm involved with. So it's very different. Also, the kind of customers we have on the one hand, the small artists who don't have the budget to really pay a few thousand euro to PR agents for a single, if they don't even know what will come out in the end. So they come to me, and they know, okay, maybe I don't get everyone who is possible to get, but for a small fee or for a reasonable fee, they get a bit of radio coverage around the world. So it's at least a start. Better than doing nothing.
That's true.
And on the other hand, I have artists like I was involved in the Kabaka Pyramid album promotion for Groundation, for Jamil and Jada Kingdom and some other artists.
Yes.
And especially Kabaka and Groundation and these artists, they really have a budget. They really have a lot of PR agents working on their stuff, but still they like to put me on top because they know, okay, the price I'm charging is not so big, and still I cover
a wide market.
Yeah, and I cover some areas where they don't have special PR agents, like Bulgaria, like I don't know, Angola, South Africa. Of course, usually they only have PR agents in the strong market in the US, in France, UK, Germany, and I cover all areas. Of course, it's not like I really get everyone in this market, but at least I have some contacts everywhere, and so you get you can even for them they can even reach a radio station than people they wouldn't reach otherwise.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful, and I must applaud you for the work that you're doing. It's really good. But when I see those names come to my email, like, wow, this guy like you do promotion like for everybody. Honestly, when I look and see, because you don't even mention all of them, Jada Kingdom, Kabaka, Appearance, like Stone, and those persons like, yo. Yeah. Because like for me, I think I'm the first person to interview over here in Jamaica.
Okay.
Back in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, after that, I started to see you saying stuff from Spoon Boy, and I was like, yeah. I said, you're doing it really big, man. You're doing it really big. So, yeah, nice vibe, and I wish you all the best with business going forward and so forth. So, back to what we mentioned in the early part of the interview, you're in Jamaica right now. And what you been up to here in Jamaica?
Actually,
so far?
I didn't have a schedule when I came. For me, it was a very short decision. Like, okay, I'm in the business now for at least 12 years, and it was really about time to come over. It's the first time for me.
First time, okay. Yeah.
And I really only had 2 weeks to come to be here. So I didn't really plan to do any business or anything. For me, it was just like coming over, catching the vibe.
That's
and
why I was sightseeing and vibes. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't. I spent most of the time here in Kingston because, of course, most of the music business is here. And for me, it's like with us, like to meet the person face to face and not always on email or sometimes on the phone. And it's always good to really meet them in person. But it's not like I'm coming here to really do a lot of business. And we can do the arrangements from Germany as well. There's no problem via email, via phone. But it's just some meet and greet, like a big fair or something. Over in Europe, we have 2 festivals that usually is a meet and greet for all the people involved with reggae. We have a Reggae Jam Festival in Germany, in Rotterdam, and in Spain. And both festivals have a vibe where everybody likes to be there, and whoever can tries to be there. So it's a huge meet and greet, and like, yo, long time no see. And for me, the same is in Kingston, because everyone from Europe who's involved with reggae music is here in February. So I met a lot of people. Usually I only meet when I'm at work and on a festival or somewhere, and never really have time to sit down with them and just have a chat. So it's really nice to come here. And of course, a lot of Jamaican artists and managements I work with. It's like nice to meet them as well.
Okay. So where's some of the places that you have been to, like venues or events? You have been to any events yourself?
Oh yeah.
It's reggae month now.
I mean,
a lot of events going on. Right?
I'm in Kingston for 1 week now, so I spent like Oh no, last night I got to sleep, but the night before I was out every night. First night I was on the show in Town for Lila Aiki and Samurai, and some students, I think, from Edna Manley School playing there.
Yes.
And then the next night, let me remember, so many concerts going on, so many shows. Of course, I've been at the Jesse Royal concert in Hope Garden. The Safari restaurant or whatever it was. 2 days ago, I was at the Massacre show in Hope Garden as well. I've been to Very Very's.
Wow. You have to go to Very Very. Yeah.
You never been?
Yes, don't I say you have to go to?
Yeah, for me, yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember too much going on, but I'm planning to go to the Protege concert tonight. And tomorrow there's a big Dennis Brown memorial with Lucy and Freddie McGregor, I think, and George Nooks and a lot of things. Yeah. It's going to be huge. Yeah. And then on Monday I have to leave Kingston. I'm going to Ocho Rios to meet up with Hugh Brown, who I play with in Europe. And he invited me to stay at his place, and I'm going to meet Michael Fabulous, and he wanted to do a studio session and wanted me to come in.
Wow.
And going to meet Kaini. I met him a few days ago here in Kingston, and it was like, yo, I know your face. Let me remember. And then, 7 years ago we played 2 shows together.
Is that Kaini?
Yeah, Kaini. You know him?
You gotta play the guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
he's a nice guy.
I know Kaini, but you play guitar.
And then I promoted a girl from Ocho Rios just a few weeks ago. I sent out a singer for her, and I'm going to meet her as well. So it's going to be one day in OG with a lot of work to do.
So when you leave Jamaica to go back?
On Wednesday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we cut out for you.
Yeah, everything like in a nutshell, you put it fast, and then, but definitely it's not going to be the last time. So we'll meet up again next year in February, I guess. That's
good. But before we finish it, do you have anything coming out soon? You doing any production, like personal production for yourself soon, or you just back to the same music promotion and backing?
Personal productions as a backing band, we're just doing a release tour with Jussi, an artist from Germany who lived in Czech Republic for quite some time.
Yes.
And he's coming up with an album end of March, I think, and the backing for the tour. On the production side, as I told you earlier, I started to do the management for Trickster.
Yes.
Persian German artist, female artist, and we're doing a production with her of an EP of all of some of her songs that's already out, but bringing it in a new musical style and just recompose them and make it available to even more people who it's not going to be real reggae release, but still, she's doing reggae, she's doing Jamaican music, she sings in Jamaican English and Papa.
Yes.
So it's still reggae related. And really looking forward to this because I'm doing all the composition for this. A lot of the tracks only going to be piano and 2 voices and very intimate in style. Wow. Some of the tracks for the recording we're going to do with band as well, but we're planning to present the EP and the tracks in this
more soulful form.
Yes, and just with piano and 2 vocals. Hopefully, we can come to Jamaica as well with this program. Would be nice, but let's see what's possible.
Yes.
But we're planning to do a tour and release the album in the end of the year, or maybe early next year. Planning the tour from November to January, maybe.
Okay.
So, but you will definitely hear about the first thing is coming out around summer, I think.
All right, cool. That sounds good. That sounds really good. For persons who would like to reach out to you, if they want their music, or the artists out there maybe watching us right now, who would like to get some music promoted, how could they reach out to you? service?
Just look for Boomrush or Boomrush Productions on the internet, on Facebook, on the website. There are all the links. It's just easy to reach out. Yeah, there's some background information on the way I work as well. So just easy, just look for Boomrush, BOOMRUSH. And then you find Boomrush Backup, Boomrush Productions, but it's everything. It's just one trademark.
Oh yeah, we didn't speak about one thing that you're doing the reggae,
the charts,
the reggae, the Global Reggae Charts. Global Reggae Charts. So tell us about that and the reason why you started that reggae chart.
Actually, when I started to do the radio promotion more professional, I found out that, of course, we have a lot of people doing reggae shows on local radio stations around the world. But when it comes to the bigger radio stations, apart from the regions where there is a big Caribbean community, you won't find a lot of reggae music on the stations. But there are several problems with it because for them, they don't really know what's going on. So they don't know which artist to look for. And oftentimes they don't even have access to the music because, of course, the station's not going to the CD store and looking, okay, this is a new, but they usually like to get it, to their mail or email, whatever. And so I thought what we can do about this to get more reggae music on the commercial, on the national radios in other countries than Jamaica or the Caribbean, or maybe some parts of the US and UK. And that's when I started to think about this Global Reggae Charts. The charts are based on votes by radio DJs from around the world. I'm not trying to ask only Jamaican DJs or something, because this would be only the Jamaican view and it's a special taste, but just collect what's interesting for radio DJs in different countries. So in the end, I can have a chart that can be you just find releases that maybe could be interesting for whoever is around the world could be interested in doing reggae, and I'm offering all the artists on the charts to get a free promotion PR campaign in a package with, this is a top 20 reggae single this month. So I sent this out to all the radio stations, and I know a lot of, for example, just a few days ago, a woman reached out to me from Bayern 2, which is one of the biggest radio stations in Germany. We don't really have national radio. We have 2 national radios, but most of the radio stations of the public service stations are only for some parts of the country, and this is for the southern part. And she just reached out and wanted some background information because she wanted to present the project and the chart in their show. So a station barely plays any reggae music usually, so this really has an effect. Yeah. That's the idea.
Because the chart, what I really love about the chart, it's not going to be affected by paywall.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing I love about this chart, because it cannot be affected by paywall, because guess what? The persons who are voting, it normally those persons who are on your email list, we are sending songs out to on a weekly basis. And then it also gives the opportunity for other artists who will never see the light of day. Yes. You understand? So you give new artists to be on that chart and for other person to see those and say, okay, this artist is good as well. So where was this artist? You understand? So that's why I love that chart, because it's a variety chart. It's not just, you're not going to just be a big artist alone.
Yes, and for me, it's actually, I really try to make sure, of course, I'm doing radio promotion for artists, and of course, I can make sure to send it to all the people who vote.
Yes.
So this is a little benefit for people on my PR, but when the people vote, they have no obligation to anything. I really tell them, please, what I send out is what I send out for you to play. But when it comes to voting, really vote for whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
And there is no system of pre-selection where they just have to choose from. They can vote for whatever they like. The only rules is for new entries, a new entry can't be older than 6 months.
6 months.
So, but of course, a protege is on the charts, even though I'm not involved with his PR campaigns. And of course, we also have some smaller artists who just really understand how to do PR for themselves, and I'm involved with their PR as well. And of course, some of the stuff I do are on the charts, but really I'm trying to make sure that this is not corrupted by something and really be
like payola,
yeah. If it's even if it's money or if it's some other kind of I help you, you help me, whatever. I really want this to be a true thing and a real thing, and not just like a tool for whatever I promote.
And that is wonderful to know that it is open and it's not just for artists that you promote alone. It's for everybody.
Yeah, if an artist is interested or is trying to get on the Global Reggae Charts, we publish in every magazine, we publish the names of all the voters of the last 3 months who voted at least once within the last 3 months. So you can just look at the list, just try to contact these people to get your music to these people. So to encourage them to vote for your music if they like. So every artist has the same chance, even if you don't have a big PR company behind yourself. It's, I wouldn't say it's easy, because in the end, because there is no pre-selection, there's so many music they can choose from. You really have to bring something good and something of high quality. But if you have good release, it's, of course, it's possible to get on the charts. It's just about doing your work and trying to find out how it works, trying to get in contact with the people who are voting. And if your music is good, I'm pretty sure you will make it.
And people, I tell you, it's a good opportunity for the artists in the industry. I mean, it's a fair playing field, so persons can go out and check out it. It's a Global Reggae Chart, and I must say thank you very much again for passing the show. And I wish you all the best on your journey and have fun in our choosing.
Thank you so much.
Respect.